everybody. Welcome back to another daily drop here on TarHeelIllustrated.com. I'm THL publisher Andrew Jones. And the topic today, as it will be pretty much all week because fall camp is here, it's North Carolina Tar Heels football, specifically Power Echols. This is Power Echols' defense, he proclaimed Thursday in Charlotte. And some of his teammates are backing him up. But before I get into that, very quick reminder, you could be a Tar Heel Insider too, just $8.33 a month. You have access to everything that we do here at THI, all the recruiting stuff, all the board content, the unbelievable banter on the board with our other subscribers. Or I know that a lot of people are uncomfortable giving out the information that's necessary to sign up for something like this. So if you don't want to do that, you can always send us a Venmo. There's information described below this video. I think it's at Heel Illustrated. But go ahead and look under there. I don't remember. I don't know a whole lot about the technical stuff. But go ahead and do that if you don't want to sign up. Although we would rather you sign up because you get more bang for your buck, to be honest with you. But if you appreciate what we're doing and you want to see more content like this, it does cost money to run this business. It costs money to pay the staff. We go where the Tar Heels go. The cost of everything is skyrocketed, yet a subscription to our site is the same price it was 10 years ago when I took over, and August 1st is the first day of my 11th year in this position, and it's still the same price. So just go ahead and sign up. But if you're uncomfortable with that, we, of course, would be happy to accept any kind of donations to show appreciation for what we do so we can continue to do this. And as I say all the time, I got to be Jacob Turner, man. Jacob wants the bucks. I got to pay Jacob. Anyway, so Power Echols, I was talking to him on Thursday in Charlotte, the ACC kickoff, about this being his defense. And I asked him straight up after a couple of questions about sort of being the guy and Cedric passing the torch and that kind of thing. I said, is this your defense? He smiled, said, yes, this is my defense. So then he elaborated on it and said some stuff that shows his maturity. Different guy now than he was when he arrived. But I think playing behind Cedric and Cedric coming back last year for a final season, he could have gone to the NFL before last season, but he came back. I think that helped Power a lot. Power's going to be a much better player than inside linebacker this year because he had another year with Cedric Gray. Because the areas that Cedric grew last year, there were some on-field stuff, some actual football areas he improved, but he became a much better leader. He learned how to lead. 2 years ago, at times, Cedric was very vocal, but he was a complaining vocal voice. There was a lot of complaints and criticism, things like that. He had to learn how to temper that. Power has seen that process. Power maybe isn't as vocal as Cedric was, but he's vocal enough, and he's a lead by example guy. He's also a look at you and make you do something. I used to hear stories about Tyler Hansbrough where he would just look at a teammate in the locker room and they would know, okay, that was the look of unapproval, disapproval. He did not like what was going on, and it was sort of a way of leading without saying much. Power can do that at times. So I went and asked Kamen Rucker, is this Power's defense? Kamen said absolutely no. Kamen's far more vocal than Power, and he's been around a year longer, and he's a guy that is probably talked about in preseason more than Power is. But Power is vocal on the field. He calls a lot of the stuff. He's the inside linebacker. You basically would prefer an inside linebacker as one of your leaders or as your main leader on defense. And Kamen basically said, I submit to Power, but I'm right there alongside him to help him lead, to help him motivate, to kick people in the rear, that kind of thing. And I thought that was very, very healthy because we knew it was Cedric a year ago, but the other voices we were unsure about. We really weren't sure who else was good. It wasn't Gio Biggers. He just doesn't have the personality for it. It wasn't some of the other guys. They just weren't wired for it. Miles Murphy didn't have the personality for it, and he hadn't done as much on the field as some people had expected to that point. So it was Cedric with a little bit of Power. Now it's Power, but he's got other guys lifting him up. Elijah Huzzy's become vocal. Man, Des Evans, who was once quiet as a church mouse, has become very, very vocal, and he's an older player. Jakeem Harris, the transfer from NC State. He is very vocal, and he's been around a long time. There's a lot of old, loud voices on defense, which I think is great for this unit. But there's one guy that stands out. He may not be the loudest, he may not say the most, but this is Power Echols defense. You don't have to take my word for it. You could take Kamen Rucker's word for it. And I think Kamen is probably the spokesman of this team. I think that would be a fair characterization that Kamen Rucker is the spokesman for the team. If they lose and they had a bad week of practice or a so-so week of practice, I want to talk to Kamen after the game and have him tell us why he thinks they lost, why maybe the team wasn't as jived in going into a game as they should have been. Kamen is outstanding at that, but it's Power's defense. Power was confident enough to say it. Kamen backed him up. And if we ask some guys coming up here this week when we get interviews of players after practice, they're going to say the same thing. I think that's good because Power's got some badass in him. He could be an edgy guy. And I think that's exactly the kind of player, the kind of mentality you want for a guy who's going to say, this is my defense. It's everybody's defense, but it's Power's defense. Are you excited about this emergence, the next level for Power Echols, passing the torch from Cedric Gray? It's his unit. You're going to see him rally guys on the sideline before they run out. He's going to be what I call in basketball, fanny smacker, but he's a good fanny smacker. Are you excited about that? What do you think Power Echols is going to do this season? What kind of season do you think he's going to have? Let us know. You can tweet it at us. You can post it on our Facebook page. You can post it in the threads on the message boards. I'm very interested to know what Carolina fans expect from Power Echols this coming season. Guys, don't forget, $8.33 a month, 1-year subscription. It's the same price it was 10 years ago. Barack Obama still had a couple of years left in his presidency. It's the same price, the same price. You can Venmo, but we'd rather you sign up because you get more bang for your buck. You just get a lot more for it. Anyway, make sure you go over to THI, take care of that, and come back and join us with our next pod. For today, that's it, and I appreciate y'all stopping by.